You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chillson, and this is my review for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. The Mandalorian and Grogu is a 2026 sci-fi fantasy adventure film directed by Jon Favreau. The once solo bounty hunter Din Djarin is joined by his young apprentice Grogu on a new Star Wars adventure in which they are hired to snuff out new leaders of a growing resurgence to the old empire. The film stars Pedro Pascal, Jeremy Allen White, and Sigourney Weaver. So, if you couldn't tell, I love me some Grogu. Since the days of Baby Yoda, I've been all in on this little green adorable thing introduced to the Star Wars universe. I've also really enjoyed the Mandalorian series, and I thought the trailers looked like a lot of fun. Even when the internet seemed to be dogging them out, I had a blast with those trailers. So I was very, very excited to see this film and jumped on my first opportunity to check it out, and I got to see it in IMAX tonight, which is definitely the preferred viewing method because it was filmed for and in IMAX. They even did a special intro for IMAX featuring The Mandalorian. And so I'm happy to report, as a fan of the show, as a fan of these characters and the Star Wars universe at large, I had a lot of fun with The Mandalorian and Grogu. It gave me pretty much exactly what I needed out of this film. It's not perfect. It's certainly not going to be in my upper echelon of Star Wars media or even just Star Wars films. But it's a fun time at the movies. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, the big positive comes in the title. It's Mando and Grogu separately and most importantly, together. I really enjoy their bond. It is strengthened even further in this film. You can feel the love between this masked figure and this animatronic baby. And that's such a testament to what they've done laying the groundwork, as well as what our actors, performers, screenwriters, director all do with these characters here. I enjoyed The Mandalorian. He's equal parts badass and caring, just as you expect him to be. And Grogu, well, he's just as adorable as ever. If you are a big Grogu person, if you love that adorable little green baby, this film is for you. Because he's in it a lot. He's doing a lot of little antics, doing a lot of cutesy little stuff, but he also gets his time to have those heroic moments as well, which I really enjoyed. I also really liked Sigourney Weaver in this film. She's not in it all that much, to be honest, but we definitely get at least one really cool, fun, fan-out moment with her. Additionally, I think the film looks fantastic. The visual effects are so well handled, and something that I've always appreciated about the Mandalorian series, and once again, really appreciated here in this film, is the kind of nod or feel of old school Star Wars. We have a lot of puppetry going on here. We have a lot of animatronics going on here. A ton of practical effects, including one of our two main characters. They don't have Grogu being this little CGI guy running around. He is still an animatronic, and I adore that. So thank you for sticking to so many practical effects, harkening back to the old school days of Star Wars. It worked beautifully. But even the visual effects, the VFX, are fantastic. It looks wonderful on an IMAX screen, and the action set pieces are amazing. They're so much fun. The aerial set pieces, specifically for me, were something to behold on the IMAX screen for sure. And then the set design, I also really enjoyed, particularly the Hutt Palace. The interior of that I thought was really cool, But the set design looks wonderful. The creatures in this are so fun and cool. And does Ludwig Göransson literally ever miss? The score. Oh my gosh, I loved this score. Of course, it weaves in the motifs, the themes we're used to from The Mandalorian, but adds so much to them, reworks them into the new music so well. And some of these new pieces and the direction he takes these new pieces into, oh, I loved this score. But I'd say one last unexpected positive for me is that I do think you can walk into this film blind, not having followed the series, watched 3.5 seasons featuring these characters. It's a pretty insular little story here. Yeah, you won't get everything. You might come in like, who is this little baby Yoda? I know nothing about him but what he looks like. I don't know about his relationship with Mando. Some of the characters maybe will go over your head, but by and large, it's not much story to follow along to, and we'll get to that, but you'll be able to just walk in and watch, and I think still have a fun time. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to The Mandalorian and Grogu? Well, by and large, the biggest problem with the film is it is, in fact, very episodic. You kind of feel yourself working through 3 or so episodes of the television series. You can kind of feel where, all right, this is where the episode would end, this is where this episode would end, and now we've done our 3-episode arc. Moving on to the next adventure of Mandalorian and Grogu. And unfortunately, that leads to a bit of wonky pacing, particularly at the beginning of the 3rd act. I didn't necessarily mind that we stopped and took some time where we do here with Grogu specifically, giving him the spotlight front and center. However, it really slows the pace of this movie down. We're having like cute adventures and action scenes and like these epic moments all around it. And then we come to a halt. We meditate for a moment, if you will. And it's these little weird pauses in the film that make the movie feel too long. We're not doing a lot of character work with anyone in this movie. Outside of maybe Jabba the Hutt, probably gets the most character work. But I didn't come here for character work, so I think we cut out some of the fat and just keep the fun rolling. Also, Jabba the Hutt, it was a one-off, fun little character for this, but that's about it for me. And the through line here, going back to that episodic feel, not the strongest. The story, by and large, is not great. The script, by and large, not great. You're here for those action set-piece moments. You're here for Grogu and Mandalorian on an adventure together, bonding, having fun, the cute, adorable antics of Grogu himself, some badass moments of the Mandalorian himself, and that's what this film gives you. It doesn't exceed expectations, it doesn't go above and beyond and give you the cinematic event of the year, but I really can't imagine that if you're a fan of the show and you enjoy the show, you're gonna leave this film disappointed, because it really feels like an extension of the series, both for the good and to its own detriment. But for me, that's what I needed. I needed a fun, cute adventure on the big screen with characters I loved, and that's exactly what this film gave me. So if you're a Star Wars fan, I say you need to see this on the big screen, and furthermore, I highly recommend checking this out on an IMAX screen. It utilizes the format really, really well and fully immerses you into some of these amazing set pieces. However, even if you are a Star Wars fan, if you have not enjoyed The Mandalorian, specifically the series, I say wait for this to hit streaming. It very much feels in line with the Mandalorian series. So if you aren't down with that Disney Plus show, I don't think this is something that'll actually win you over. So that was my review for The Mandalorian and Grogu. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see The Mandalorian and Grogu? And have you been a fan of the show? Let me know all of your thoughts either in that comment section down below, or you can hit me up over on Twitter and blue sky. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.